Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the AGP Sport for today. I'm Samuel Gillis. Thanks for joining us. A disappointing Cricket World Cup continues with another match being washed out without a ball being bowled. Jaden Samuels reports.
Another down day for the Men's Cricket World Cup due to persistent rains, which will now make way for the net run rate, which plays a significant part in deciding who moves on as the tournament progresses. The abandonment follows an uninspiring trend this week where 2 games have failed to start and one was called off less than an hour into play. The 3 abandoned games in this World Cup are an anomaly as far as this tournament goes, considering there were only 2 before this edition since it started in 1975. India was slated to play New Zealand, but the Rains won the match without a ball being bowled. What will the outcome of the West Indies and England game be? Well, we will have to wait and hope good weather prevails. Jaden Samuels, GP Sport.
More cricket news. No personal messages allowed on cricket equipment according to ICC equipment regulations. The details in this report. Chris Gayle and MS Dhoni both received thumbs down from ICC in their request to put personal messages on their equipment. Chris Gayle wanted to inscribe his bat with a moniker he had coined for himself, Universe Boss, and MS Dhoni, after initiating the Indian team's move to wear military hats for a one-day match a few months back, chose the World Cup stage to put the Commando Dagger paramilitary insignia on his wicket-keeping gloves. According to the ICC, they could not have made an exception for Dhoni, as no personal messages are allowed on equipment. Gayle wanted it, but when he was refused permission, he accepted it and moved on. An ICC spokesperson said, "It is not about military symbolism. It's about a simple rule that no personal messages are allowed." But even without that symbol on his bat, according to West Indies coach Corey Collymore, Chris Gayle will relish the chance to take on England's quicks Mark Wood and Jeffrey Archer on Friday the 14th. Gayle has also hinted he could retire from one-day cricket after the World Cup. For GP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis. In football news, Guyana Sissy Norville, Ryan Hackett, and Kelsey Benjamin are adapting well to the environment and seasons, despite being exposed to new challenging training routines. Jana Samuels tells us more.
This is the report from Brazil following a visit by President Wayne Ford on Sunday last to view the international friendly match between FC Madurye and Qatar national team, the latter preparing for the Copa America tournament. In an invited comment, the player said training is progressing well even though intense and challenging new regimens are being learned. It is different and challenging from back home, but we're coming through and getting there, said Norville. This position was echoed by Benjamin and Hackett. While the language has been another challenge, they are gradually adapting to it to aid in their communication with the team and even showed off some of the words and phrases learned to date. Even though part of the Madurye Esporte Club squad, they did not play in the match, which ended 2-1 in favor of Qatar. The coaching staff, however, is very pleased with the overall conduct and behavior of the players thus far. Following the 1-month attachment based on their performance, the players will witness the likelihood of landing a professional contract with the club. This attachment initiative is a result of a visit by the Guyana Football Federation president to Brazil in May, where he met with Brazil Football Federation president Rogério Cabalco. Jaden Samuels, GP Sport.
The KFC-sponsored Senior Squash Championship has started at the Georgetown Club. The details in this report. Play in the men's and women's open as well as over 40 men's category of the 2019 KFC Senior National Squash Championship began last night. 3 matches were played in the men's open. Nicolas Vore defeated Regan Rodriguez in straight games 11-3, 11-5, 11-4, while Samuel Trivial had a much tougher time in his match against Jonathan, even though he recorded a 3-game victory, scores being 11-6, 11-4, 11-8. The closest match of the night featured Genny Carpenter against Adam Alves, who won a close first game 11-8, but Adams turned the match around with some exquisite shots, winning the next 3 games, 11-4, 11-5, 11-7. In the lone women's open match played, Sarah Lewis defeated Edwards 11-0, 11-1, 11-0, while Madison Fernandez received a walkover from Tian Edwards. In the over 40 men's category, Regan Pollard defeated Robert Fernandez 11-3, 11-6, 11-5. Play would run each evening from 6 p.m., from 1 p.m. on Saturday, and 11 a.m. on Sunday. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis. That concludes our cast for this evening. But do remember, success is not an happening, it is a result. There is nothing mysterious about progressing. It is doing instead of doubting and working instead of wishing.